The new state-of-the-art Bahamas Agriculture, Marine, and Science Institute, a $50 million project designed to improve the third pillar of the Bahamian economy, is on a fast pace in meeting the Perry Christie government's objective in creating another city of great means on the island of Andros.
I think someone during the course of the debate said they saw that as one of the most significant interventions in the last 20 years. Mr. Speaker, this country imports over $1 billion worth of foodstuffs a year. There is a view held by some that if you can grow potatoes in Idaho, import the potatoes from Idaho, and never try to have any degree of security, food security. Countless governments have gone to cruise ships and to hotels, and they have always had the response. If you are able to give us a sustainable quality crop, we will buy it from you. We have decided that this is the time right now, Mr. Speaker, to go no further without having the basis to be able to grow things in our country and to be able to know what's in our waters, to be able to exploit them, to be able to manage them, to be able to protect them, to be able to promote them. And that's now the genesis of BAMSI. And we are going to have one of the most extraordinary campuses in this part of the world. We're going to have one, Mr. Speaker, where the technology will be integrated into it to make it a green development in the sense, Mr. Speaker, that the Minister for the Environment has put to the government has agreed for the carbon room, an organization that will provide, Mr. Speaker, the technology for our being able to take advantage of solar, Mr. Speaker, to make that site self-sufficient when it comes down to the generation of electricity, so you have an alternative. That's the idea, and that's the principle. But, Mr. Speaker, firstly, we have entered into agreements with the University of Florida, University of Miami, University of the West Indies, University of Ocean in China. All of those agreements, Mr. Speaker, are calculated to enrich the faculty, to enrich the students, and to give BAMSI access to the latest research that those universities are engaged in. And part of that research is very relevant to the Bahamas. For example, Mr. Speaker, can we, on a sustainable basis, export the sea cucumber grown in our waters? Because, yes, they would like to import it into China. Can we? These are the answers, Mr. Speaker, that will be provided by BAMSI. Mr. Speaker, the production of papaya. Yes, the Minister of Agriculture is dead correct. There are various types of variety of papayas that will be grown, but BAMSI is doing something else. In addition to growing the papayas themselves, they are licensing farmers, entering into agreement with farmers in Andros to be able to take their product that they grow, like papayas, and sell and market for them. This government has made a very, very strong commitment to developing agriculture. Mr. Speaker, I am saying again, we are going to have an impact on the food import bill of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
This project, the brainchild of the Prime Minister, was put into a form that assures and will ensure sustainability. And in so doing, with the guidance of the ambassador, we put the necessary infrastructure in place so that we can depend on the projections that we made so that we can have the output that the country needs. One of the critical outputs would be the students you see here, who should be graduating and leaving here competent enough to manage not only their own business, but to supply the manpower requirement to fix the deficit in our agriculture.
Whenever you start from scratch, you always have this a little nervous expectation, but as we grew along, I'm so impressed with what we were able to achieve. And during our first semester, we started off with our 50 students, and those 50 students are doing so well. and they've been our ambassadors. And so as a result, we actually have, for this semester, we had an enrollment of 11 students that we took on, but we're still receiving applications.
I hate to admit it, but I'm the oldest student in the school. When I saw this opportunity, I've always been interested in agriculture and marine science, so I'm still torn between the two. There is really nowhere in the world you can go and get an education like this for $600 a semester. So when I saw that, I said, you know what? Time to go. And that's why I'm here, because I really think it is a golden opportunity for young Bahamians, and I'm surprised that there aren't more young Bahamians here involved in this program, because it is fantastic. I dropped everything, you know. I have an education. I have a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, but here I am studying marine science and agriculture. I think it's a wonderful opportunity.
It's happening in your own backyard.
It's happening not only in my own backyard, but in my lifetime.
Again, we're really excited. We're really excited with our students, and I think the country should be really proud and very excited for what's to come in the next year when they graduate. What we offer here is second to none. Okay, because again, we have the farm, we have the greenhouse, so our students literally get their hands dirty and their feet wet. And nowhere can you have that experience like that. So we have a good balance between the theory as well as the practical.
Tell me that relationship between yourself and the community here in Andros.
Well, you know, we are now a part of the community, and so they have embraced us with open arms, and we too have embraced them. So we, from the island administrator, Mr. Ivan Ferguson, he's literally given us the keys to North Andros, okay? And so they have just welcomed us, and we've been working with them, partnering with them with their local activities. We have our outreach programs where we go into the schools as well and utilize we'll share our resources with them. So it's a wonderful, really wonderful relationship that we have. As you know, as we move forward, BAMSI will become North Andros will become a college town centered around BAMSI. So it's important that we have that community support and that the community understands the concept and they understand the vision. And so they've embraced it and they're readying themselves for things to come.
We have established our night fold to house our breeding stock sheep and goat, and you would have seen that we have cleared about 80 acres of land in order to establish the pastures to house these animals when they breed, because we are expecting to have about 3,000 animals here by the end of next year. So we are on that program using artificial insemination and the embryo transplant technology. We will be slaughtering and selecting the cuts from these animals, and also we will be selling live animals to our associated farmers to improve their gene pool on their farms. And then we'll be establishing other farmers who would be our associated farmers to grow these animals to augment the volume of meat that we have coming from the project in its totality.
We are standing here in the night shade. The night shade is a designated area for safety for the animals at night, away from wild dogs and other animals that might come into the area. Also, the night shade is an area where the veterinarian will be able to administer the shots, check the health, and keep the animals safe. You know, we have hurricane zone and keep them from rain and keep them sheltered. The 3 or 4 acres that are also cleared, what's happening all in this unit, BAMSI is going on into doing table eggs and chickens as well. So the abattoir unit is going to be in this area as well. That's why we cleared so much land. You also have the broiler house and the chicken house for the layer eggs. Also, we are establishing pastures. BAMSI is going to be self-sufficient, so the animal will be able to get his own food here, be able to get health care here because there'll be the veterinarian unit, and be able to utilize their, like I said, the feces and the droppings for composting as well. That will be used back into the field to establish the pastures where they'll be eating.
Now over here now, you would have seen the bananas that we have 25 acres in full production right now, and we are going to establish another 30 acres in the next 3 months. So before the end of this year, I'm supposed to be having about 80 acres of banana in its totality, but then next year we go to finish off where we have 150 or 200 acres, as the case may be. Now, here we have our pineapples. Our pineapples are about 3 months old, and we are expecting that they will be coming into harvest by about, I think it's July of this year. And then after that, we will be having monthly harvest going on and on and on and on, because there's no seasonality for the pineapples.
You're out of the ground and you're actually harvesting.
Yes, quite a bit was involved. Getting the right persons to do the right work in the right time and to get the right output. You know, we started 10 months ago with land preparation. We have been able to establish quite a few crops, and now we are harvesting and sending fruits to the market.
This is a demonstration shade house. We're going to demonstrate the technology of aquaponics and aquaculture here, just to show its viability. And then we're going to advance and move into the next phase, where we're going to get to a commercial level in aquaponics, growing tilapia fish, and hydroponic produce like lettuce, herbs, and some fruiting produce. This shade house is 300 feet by about 218 feet. We use galvanized fence posts. They're about 10 feet high, and we structured it so it'll accept, I think it's a 1/4-inch cable wire. And over it, in last week, we used panels. Right now we under 30% shade panel, and over our fish stations, we have a 63% shade panel.
Dr. Delaveau, as head of this project, what is your hope with this?
I hope to produce vegetables and fish in a system where they are basically organic, nutritious, and healthy for the Bahamian people. I want to be able to produce vegetables in quantity so that we can supply local markets. We can have students learning how to do this, and they can go back to their islands. The students can return to their islands and help entrepreneurs in that area, or even become businessmen themselves, to grow vegetables and fish together in a system that they can benefit their community and help bring employment, in fact, become employees in their community.
BAMSI has really met my expectation. We have an interesting cadre of lecturers here who are very concerned, who are very knowledgeable in the field of agriculture. And I say kudos to them and kudos to me of being a part of that example of this population of young, upcoming agriculturists.
My first semester was very interesting. I got to meet a lot of other students from other islands, a lot of personalities. The conditions may be different from a regular college campus, but I can say I learned a lot. I have a great appreciation for agriculture science, as I did hospitality studies and hotel training at CUB, so I loved it basically.
Very informative. All the expectations of BAMSI was met. Too much information, all to retain at one time. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. I wouldn't trade this in for nothing in the world.
I realized that I have a lot of work to do as a young person and the next generation moving forward to fix the situation of agriculture in our country. I'm grateful for this experience, and I'm grateful for the information that I'm receiving, and I'm ready to pull up my socks and move forward.
My name is Montes Hopkins, and I'm studying agriculture at BAMSI. Right now, BAMSI is the leading institution inside the Bahamas. There's no other institution in the world that can tell you how to plant in Bahamian limestone soil like an institute that is located in the Bahamas.
My name is Garnet Campbell. I'm a marine science student here at BAMSI. As of now, we're working on having the aquaculture facilities up and running so that by next semester, as new students get in, we can have facilities in place so that they can come and partake in what we will have prepared in order to feed the Bahamas.
With the implementation of BAMSI, which include the construction of a campus coinciding with the government's objective to industrialize the agriculture sector with the view of securing the country's first food security program, producing about 40% of the major imported food products, cutting into the country's $1 billion food import bill. This out-of-the-box futuristic program also proposes to create a number of skilled Bahamians in BAMSI's educational curriculum, resulting in high-paying jobs in the field of agriculture, marine science, and livestock.
We hope you enjoyed it.